Hello and welcome to the channel once again. This is our last video on the series Mind, Body and Soul, and we'll concentrate on emotions this time from a different perspective. We're going to see why we feel what we feel, how we react to other people's emotions, how we manage our emotions, and eventually what impact our emotions have in our bodies and minds. As we turn 60, 70 and more, we have accumulated enough experiences with a myriad of emotions, some good, some bad, some sad, some happy. And we know by now how to handle our emotions, what to do about them. We have gone through the experience and we know that we can cope with some things, and we're prepared to do that. And if we don't, we have to rely on help. And we also have learned that it is a happy moment worth remembering when you have felt a lovely emotion, love, happy tears, you name it. So you bring them back and the emotion comes back as well, which is lovely. Right. Now, we know that emotions usually have an impact, affect our behavior, our social interactions, and even our physical health. And that's quite important. They trigger actions. For example, if you're attacked or in a dangerous situation, well, you want to protect yourself and or defend yourself if you have to, depending on the situation. So it is also an automatic reaction. Somebody attacks, we try to defend. We are in the middle of danger and we try to run. Okay, so all emotions, of course, have physical consequences. For instance, chronic anger, fear, and sadness can lead to, according to the experts, to insomnia, heart disease, phobias, depression, anxiety, and eventually even substance abuse, which is very sad and very difficult to deal with, and for that most people would need a lot of help. Now, the American Psychological Association, APA, explains that we all experience emotions every day of our life, constantly, and a variety of them. For example, if you're going to walk out the door and suddenly your car doesn't start, then you start getting anxious, annoyed, you have to call work, you cannot arrive in time. I've been in situations when we are at a church in a wedding ceremony waiting for the bride and groom, and one of them is not arriving and arrives very late, and everybody starts getting fidgety and anxious about that, wondering what is happening. And it's interesting to observe a crowd of people under the same situation. Now, usually what happens is that the situation arises and people react differently to the same situation. So whatever seems to you to be very annoying, for some people may seem something simple and easy to deal with, and they don't even pay attention to it anymore. So it all depends on how it really affects the way you see it. There's no such thing as a bad emotion, according to the APA. We all experience the ups and downs of negative and positive emotions, and that is normal. And negative emotions sounds horrible, but we learn a lot. We learn from negative emotions how we reacted at a certain moment, why, if we could have done it better or avoid such a strong reaction. So we learn a lot about ourselves with negative emotions. The positive emotions are always lovely. You just bring the memory of that situation or that person or that place to mind, and it will bring a lovely feeling to you. All right. Now I'm looking at my notes here because I have something interesting for you. The APA divides emotions into two categories. They say basic emotions such as sadness or fear or anger or joy, as opposed to complex emotions like grief, envy, jealousy, guilt, pride, and many more. So to give you an example to compare, for example, um, if you feel angry, you react to defend yourself. If somebody attacks you with a knife, you will react. And of course, it's automatic, and we usually don't think about these things. When we react, it's just automatic and natural without measuring the consequences. Or you may be in a fearful situation where you have to run for your life. So you may be swimming in the ocean and suddenly you see a shark fin in front of you. Well, your adrenaline will pump you out of the water and you literally will walk on water to get out of there. So it all depends, but they are all automatic, sudden reactions, and the body knows very well how to dictate what to do, which is great. Now, some common types of phobias. Phobias are very, very interesting, and some of the phobias most familiar with, we are most familiar with, are, for example, the fear of spiders, fear of snakes, fear of heights, fear of flying, fear of needles. And I have to say that I have always been a needle phobic, and it's getting a little bit better, but I just do not like them, and I don't feel good when I have to go for an injection anywhere. Now we have also social anxiety disorders, emotional phobias derived from a social situation. For example, when we have to be part of a group and we don't feel confident enough to fit in or to talk to anybody, or we feel rather uncomfortable when somebody approaches us to talk, and we just feel very, very anxious about that. There's also things like claustrophobia and people who cannot stand being enclosed in a small space. And I have been a witness to two serious cases of claustrophobia. One of them was on an airplane. We were already flying when this young woman started getting very restless and calling the stewardess and saying that she needed to get out of there. Please help me get out of here. And the tone of voice was growing, and she was trying to jump out of the seat, and people had to come and help. And fortunately, there was a medical doctor on board who could inject her and give her a sedative. Otherwise, God knows what would have happened. And the second one was in an elevator, and it was an elderly woman who started also saying that this is taking too long. I need to get out of here. I'm drowning. I cannot breathe. And she became very pale and started panting, and we all had to calm her down, holding her and talking to her, which we managed to do right in time. When the elevator finally arrived on destination on the ground floor, she just literally jumped out of the elevator and run. She was so scared with these phobias. Now, phobias is something very interesting because they can cause a lot of distress in our lives because we have them present constantly. We're always aware of the things we fear most, and we constantly strive not to run into a situation where we have to face our phobias. So they are different from fears. I'll give you the same example of the shark. I mean, you go swimming, there's a shark fin, you run for your life. So that's a normal reaction. But if you were having a phobia for sharks, you would not even get close to the water, much less into the ocean. You just wouldn't, because the minute you approach the shore, you're already aware that there may be sharks, and all these nightmarish thoughts invade your mind. So it happens to a lot of people, and some people take tranquilizers to fly. It is a very hard thing to go through. So what we have here is that when we have phobias, we definitely need to rely on the help of professionals to deal with that. And it may be a lengthy process. It may take a long time. It may not be easy. It's literally a professional who knows how to get in your mind, trying to convince you that what you feel and what you see and what you imagine is not there. And that is quite a job, I have to say. Now, while reading about emotions, I found a website called the Atlas of Emotions, and it is promoted by the Dalai Lama, beautifully presented with the music and the colors. It's very interactive. It allows you to explore emotions. Every emotion is explained. You can go back and forth, and it is a lovely website to visit with your children. You know, it's a perfect opportunity to study emotions as a family group and comment on that, and they will learn quite a bit, and it'll be a joy for you to be able to share that with them. So I recommend it, and if I can include the link at the bottom, I will. Otherwise, take note, it's called the Atlas of Emotions. Look it up, it's worth it. Now, according to the APA researchers, they have also found a strong link between emotions, positive emotions, and physical health. For example, when you have a lot to do at home, you have a hectic job with a lot of demands, you have to deal with the traffic, and your days go in a constant rat race that puts you under pressure, for a number of hours. The recommendation is to break that for a minute, take a recess and give yourself 20-30 minutes to walk out of the situation. Go to a park, sit on a bench and enjoy the trees, the birds, a coffee if you have it in your hand, or walk along the beach, smell the ocean, look at the beauty of it. Walk along the river, walk in a forest, or maybe just go for a lengthy walk outside the environment that is causing you so much stress. And they have found that your mood improves, your emotions improve, they become more positive because you feel more satisfied, refreshed, and ready to start again. So if you're interested in that, also I'll try to put the link at the bottom, and if you don't find it, we're still working out how to do that in my YouTube channel. The publication is called Migration Studies. So look for that, and it was published in 2023. And it talks about emotions, the functions, the significance of emotions for all of us and for our attitudes, the behavior and the communication through emotions. It is very interesting, very lovely written as well, very simple to understand with lots of comparisons of emotions and examples. And if you want to learn more and your children can participate, it's another site worth visiting. And with that, I'm going to leave you for now. Today is Friday here. Very rainy day today, not very enjoyable, rather cool. And now I took a break to record for you because there was a break in the clouds. Wow, unbelievable. Have fun, enjoy yourselves, observe your emotions and see what you can come up with. Ask about your children, your husband, your friends. How do you think I react to things? Do you think that I am too spontaneous, too shy? Am I, good to talk to? And it is interesting because we don't see those things in ourselves, but other people observe and see. And if they can tell you, it'll be an interesting theme of conversation. So have an emotional weekend, and I will see you in the next one. The next one will be a tour video for you. I'll take you to another area of the suburb of Applecross and show you another very beautiful part of that area. Until then, have fun, and my blessings to you. Remember to grab your coffee.